the place of Gyaneshwar Maharaj. Indrayani Kati Devachi Alandi. It is said, wherever devotees are there, Krishna likes to stay there. Devachi Alandi. That is why Krishna says, Alandi is mine. Why? My great devotee is staying here. That is Gyaneshwar. So Gyaneshwar is there here. It is said, Mahapurushas, they stay in 3 places. One is in their birthplace, one is in their samadhi, and one in their books. So if you see, Gyaneshwari is written here. So Gyaneshwar Maharaj stays in the books. And Gyaneshwara appearance also is in this place. At the same time, Gyaneshwar Samadhi is also Sajivan Samadhi. It is said, I just heard some of the devotees speaking. One devotee wanted to offer some garlands to Gyaneshwara. Then he found, when he opened the Samadhi, he was so much having an intense desire that he has to put it personally to Gyaneshwara. He said Gyaneshwara Samadhi opened and he could see there Gyaneshwara sitting and meditating. And in this way, Gyaneshwara is present in the Samadhi. It is not that Gyaneshwara has left the body. Gyaneshwara is present and chanting the holy name of Lord. So Gyaneshwara is absorbed in the meditation of Lord. We can see like this Samadhi in Raghavendra Mati, that is in Mantralayam also. Even for great devotees, Raghavendra gives darshan even today also. Gyaneshwara, Raghavendra is present in the Samadhi. So Mahapurushas, they never die. They never die. They are always present. They are always eternal. So Gyaneshwara is present in this place. So naturally, Lord is also present in this place. Devachi Alandi, Indrayani Kati, Devachi Alandi, on the banks of Indrayani, you can find Alandi. Lagali Samadhi Gyaneshwara. So Gyaneshwar Maharaj has taken Samadhi here. Some of the pastimes of Gyaneshwara is his father Vithalpant was also a very great devotee. He belonged to Apegaon. There is a place nearby which is known as Apegaon. Vithalpant, he went on tour to all the pilgrimage places. And in this way, he was not at all interested in any marriage. But somehow his parents made him marry to one of the wonderful girls. Her name is Rukmani Bai. She belonged to this place, that is Alandi. And he got married to her. And then along with her also, he started touring to all the pilgrimage places. She found that her husband is not interested at all in this material life. And always used to say that I want to get sannyas. I want to take sannyas. And she had this fear that husband may go and take sannyas. That is why she informed her parents in Alandi. Her parents came to Apegaon and took both Vithalpant and Rukmani Bai to Alandi. Here they got 4 children. The 4 children name was wonderful. Vithalpant gave the name which actually is the essence of whole Bhagavatam. The first son's name was kept as Nivrutti. Second son, Gyaneshwar. Third, Sopan. Fourth, Mukta. This is the essence of the whole of Bhagavatam. If you are Nivrutta, if you are you get away from the material life, or you are done with the material life, that is the time you think about knowledge. Or otherwise, if you have the knowledge, automatically your material desires go away. Nivrutta. Nivrutta means you become free from the material propensities, material desires. The moment you have no material desires, that is the time you attain the knowledge. So there is a material desire of roaming in different places. People go to some Darjeeling, here and there, Doon and all these things. But see, if there is an intense desire to go to the pilgrimages, that is the time you become nivrutta from the material desires and you attain the knowledge. And what is that knowledge? Knowledge is sopana. Sopana means connecting oneself to Lord. Connecting everything to Lord, our consciousness to Lord. Tan man dhan we say, tan man dhan sab kuch tera. So everything is yours, connecting everything to Krishna, that is known as sopana, bridging. And that can only be possible if you are free from the material desires. If you simultaneously have material desires, it is impossible to get the knowledge and connect oneself to Krishna. So Sopana means connecting oneself to Lord, and that is how one attains Mukti. Muktabai, Mukti. And what is the meaning of Mukti? Mukti hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vivastitihi. Get rid of anya rupaha. Get rid of all the material designation. Oh, I am a woman, I am a man, I am an Indian, I am so and so, I am an engineer. Get rid of all these designations. Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. If you are free from all the material desires, then one understands his swarupa. Swarupena vivastitihi. What is one's swarupa? Jivera swarupa hoy krishnera nityadas. That is our swarupa. So his father always is absorbed in Lord. That is why his father kept the four sons' name, so that he can remember this. Nivritti, Gyaneshwar, Sopana and Mukta. But somehow no one can stop anybody taking sannyas. Now here, one day, he just told his wife that I'm just going to take bath in the banks of Indrayani. I'll just come back. And then what happened? He did not come. He just went to Varanasi. There he met Ramananda Swami, and he told to him that I want to take sannyas. Ramananda Swami asked, are you married? He told no, I am not married. He told lies. And then in this way, Ramananda Swami also thought maybe he's telling truth, and he believed his words and gave him sannyas. Chaitanya Ashram was his name after sannyasa. His name was changed as Chaitanya Ashram. 20 years passed. But his wife never cried. His wife has so much of faith in Lord that she knew that he will come back. I just little mistake is there. After coming back, they get the children. It is not before. Before taking sannyas, he actually gets married and he goes and takes sannyas. So then he comes, then 10 years, his wife is just meditating on Lord. She is meditating on Lord, and then she's not at all bewildered, nothing. She's not crying also. So much of faith she has on Lord. One day she goes to Vithala temple, and there she sees an effulgent sannyasi is sitting. She goes and takes darshan, and the Swamiji says, you will have children. She starts laughing. How can I have children? My husband has already taken sannyas. That pastime is actually afterwards, not immediately after marriage. So then, how can I have children? She starts laughing. Then he is asking what happened. My husband ran away after the marriage. Anyhow, we tried to stop him, but somehow he went away. We came to know that he has gone to Varanasi. Some Swamiji has given him sannyas. Then he could understand, he could realize, oh, that Swamiji is none, that person is none other than Chaitanya Ashram. He took Rukmani Bai's father also. They came to Varanasi. Then he scolded. Chaitanya Ashram. He told, when you are in the Grihastha Ashram, why did you speak lies? And why did you take sannyas? Your wife is crying. She is such a wonderful devotee. You should not leave her. Go back to Grihastha Ashram. He goes back to Grihastha Ashram, which is actually against the Smriti. The Smriti says, once you have taken sannyas, you cannot go back to any Grihastha Ashram. But he goes back to the Grihastha Ashram, he begets the children, he names them. But now, he wanted to give initiation to, that is, thread ceremony to three sons, that is, Gyaneshwar, Sopal and Nivritti. None of the Brahmins were agreeing to this, because it is against Smriti. If it is against Smriti, then he should not come back to the Grihastha Ashram. Then he told, okay, it is my mistake. Then naturally I should do Prayashchit. You tell me what Prayashchit I should do. Then he says, okay, then all the Brahmins over there, then they decided. They tell to Vithalpal, you go to Prayag and give up your body. Then Rukmani Bai says, what will I do without you? I'll also come. In this way, both Vithalpal and Rukmani Bai, they gave up their body in Prayag. And here these three children are very small. Nivritti that time is just 10 years. and Gyaneshwar is younger to him, Sopan is younger, and this Muktabai is too small. And all that burden has come on the head of Nivrutti. But anyhow, Nivrutti, they are all great devotees. They know that the difficulties is nothing but mercy of Krishna. So, seeing this as a mercy of Krishna, they just travel around. Though it is written, they were asking help from different people. But actually, devotees are never bewildered by any miseries. No miserable condition can affect the pure devotees. They come to Alandi because their desire was to fulfill the desire of their father. The father's desire was that they should get initiated. They asked the Brahmins in Alandi. Again, the Brahmins said, no way, we cannot give because we cannot go against Smriti. So what Brahmins did also was not wrong. At the same time, it was any Leela, if you see, outwardly it may appear, oh, such a cruel way of treating such children. But it is not a cruel way. We may think it is a cruel way. But here, any Leela is done, then Krishna wants to teach the lesson. And what is that lesson? Krishna wants to make a common person understand. If a thing is gone against the Smritis, then one has to bear the consequences. That can be even great devotees also. So now the consequence was, these are not getting initiated. But Gyaneshwara is high in knowledge and Nivrutti is also. So that Gyaneshwara wanted to show the Brahmins over there. Though you all are, like, they are following the Smritis, but they should not lower these four people. Because these four are nothing but Krishna's sent devotees. So that is why there was a he buffalo there. They call as Reda. A he buffalo. Gyaneshwara told. Though you all are speaking Vedas, but what is the essence of Vedas? Now these Brahmins were like ritualistic Brahmins. Just they were only Veda parties following Smriti. But the essence of Vedas is to understand Bhakti. So then, just being a Veda party is not enough. You should know what is devotion. No, Veda party, even Vedas, a buffalo also can speak. You say, how can a buffalo speak? Only intellectual people can speak. And Gyaneshwara just touched the he buffalo. His buffalo started speaking Vedas. It was done here only. His buffalo started speaking Vedas. And in this way, the pride of the Brahmins, so-called Brahmins, the Veda parties, that was completely smashed by Gyaneshwara. And they could understand Gyaneshwara is not an ordinary person. He doesn't need a formal initiation to read Vedas. Actually, initiation is given so that it is the next Janama. Because first Janama is from the womb of mother. The first birth is from the womb of mother. And then in the initiation, it is the second birth. Dvija. Dvija means now he is second, twice born. And now he is having the qualification to study the Vedas. That is why initiation is given. But Gyaneshwara wanted to show, it was my father's desire that I should get initiation, but for me, for my brothers, we are all four are out of these reformatory processes. We are beyond this. One who is a devotee of Lord is beyond such reformatory processes which is actually required for a common person like us. But for Gyaneshwara, it is not necessary. But his father wanted, that is why he went and asked, okay, the Brahmins, they were following the scriptures, but then Gyaneshwara is telling, though you are following the scriptures, but you should know the essence of the scriptures. The scriptures is done even by a buffalo also. Buffalo also speaks scriptures. That means just following the scriptures or just having the knowledge of the scriptures is like a buffalo. Indirectly he wanted to say it is like a buffalo mind. A buffalo also knows what is so big in it. But if you are a devotee, then you should know what is the essence of scriptures, and the essence of scriptures is devotion to Lord. This way, his fame was increasing. People understood that he is not an ordinary person. One day he was just walking, all the four were walking. At that time they saw a woman was crying. and she was crying because her husband was dead. Gyaneshwara saw, Gyaneshwara went and just touched him. Hey, Sachidanand, get up. And immediately this man woke up. And this person, Sachidanand, he became a great follower of Gyaneshwara. And he wrote Gyaneshwara Gatha. He is the one who has written about Gyaneshwara. Like in Madhva Sampradaya also we have the glories of Madhva put in one book. In the same way, Sachidananda, he wrote all the glories of Gyaneshwara in this book. Like this many pastimes he has shown, because Gyaneshwara is not an ordinary person. He is a Param Yogi. He is having a lot of yogic powers. And he is a devotee, but you cannot call at the very pure devotional way, like the gopis of Vrindavan, or the pure devotees like Haridas Thakur. It is like yogic powers are also there. So Jnani Yukta Bhakta, they are all bhaktas, but they have the jnana also. At the same time, they have yogic powers also. There was a person here, his name was Vishobha. He was very envious of Gyaneshwar, because his fame is growing like anything. So out of enviousness, he told to all the potters and all here that not to give anything to any, because at the time the cooking was happening in the earthen pots, not to supply any earthen pots to the house. One day Nivrutti wanted some, it is called Monday. Monday means like Monday. What is it Monday? Dosas. Puran Polo. Big polo. It is not Puran Polo. This is, but big one. So big size. Yeah, it is only prepared on the pot. So now he had a desire. He asked Muktabai, go and get a nice wonderful pot. It is not exactly the pot. It will be it will not exactly be the pot. It will be like a shallow pan. It will be like a shallow pan. You have to keep it upside down, and from up you have to put. And the fire will be going from down. So now here, Muktabai goes potter to potter. Potters say, no way. Your father, they criticize the father. They say, your daughter of such a father. So in this way, they were criticizing everybody. Everybody criticized Muktabai. They criticized Gyaneshwara also. They criticized everybody. And she was crying. She was thinking, how am I going to fulfill the desire of my brother? Gyaneshwara saw sister crying. Gyaneshwara, why you should cry? Bake on my back. Anyhow, Jathar Agni is there on my stomach. And with my yogic powers, I will bring that Agni on my back. You start making pancakes on my back. And Gyaneshwara sat and put off, but so much of Maldives were made. And everybody is surprised. So Gyaneshwara yogic powers, where his fame was again growing everywhere. People were coming to know so that Gyaneshwara is having a lot of yogic powers. Then there was a big yogi. He told, okay, Gyaneshwara, they are all very small boys, not even very big, all small, 10 years, 11 years. Oh, such a boy is doing so much of miracles. So this name was growing. There was a person known as Chandev. This Chandev thought, hey, I did so much of tapasya, then I should show my yogic powers to this boy. This boy's fame is growing. If I defeat him, then I will become more famous. So Chandev, he sat on a tiger, had a snake in his hand, and started coming towards Alandi. And the news has come that a great yogi is coming on a tiger, having snake in the hand. Gyaneshwara told, we all will sit on this wall, all 4 of us, and we'll go and meet this yogi. Because Gyaneshwara never had the pride. He thought it will take a long time for me to go there. But if this wall is there, I can make this wall fly. And in this way, I can go and take darshan of the yogi. Yogi came with a pride, but Gyaneshwara went with a very humble attitude. never understand this Leela with having the wrong understanding that Gyaneshwara went with the pride and wanted to show his yogic powers. Then what is the difference between Shandev and Gyaneshwar? Devotees never have the pride. So they just went just because they came to know a yogic, great yogi is coming to Alandi. So how to reach them? How to reach as quickly as possible? They went with sat on the wall and the wall started flying, and in this way they went there, and this chant is completely amazed. I made a living being, a living creature move. And this yogi, this small boy, he has made an inanimate thing, an object to move. That means he is far more superior than me. Immediately took shelter, and he also became a disciple of Gyaneshwara. This way Gyaneshwara showed a lot of miracles, yogic powers. And then now he had a desire. I should go and visit various places. I should go for Tirthasthan. He said, it's described here, went to Marwar, went to Bidar, various different places. That is the time he meets Namdev. Namdev also goes along with him to different places. Anyhow, Namdev, we should know a little bit about Namdev also. Because if we know Gyaneshwara, then we should know Namdev also. Because Namdev and Gyaneshwara, they go together. So Namdev, when he was born, at the age of just 2 years, he started playing Kartal. And he exhibited all pure devotion in him. And for him, only worshipable Lord is Vithala. And he used to every day go to the temple of Vithala. Pandharpur is everything for him. Vithala is everything for him. For him, God is only Vithala, nothing else beyond that. Now his father, his mother, that seeing the child is growing in a nice devotional way. It is said at the age of 7, his mother told, I am very busy. Please take all these offerings to Lord. And you feed Lord and come back. So then the mother was thinking, why the child has yet not come? The child goes there, as usual keeps the plate. The mother keeps, he also kept. But Lord did not eat. According to him, Lord has not eaten anything. He started breaking his head. He told, if you not eat, I'll smash my head. Somehow then, he made Lord appear, and the whole plate was empty. He brought the empty plate to his mother. Mother told, where is Prasad? He told, Vithalite. Mother doubted. Vithalite. So second day again she said, same story. Third day she thought, let me also go behind. This child is eating everything and saying Vithala is eating. And because of this child, mother also got the darshan of Vithala. She understood that this child is not an ordinary child. But they were all tailors actually. They were coming in the pantha of tailors, in the cult of tailors. So their work is stitching the clothes and selling it. But Namdev was not interested in all these things. But his father told, see, now you should do some professional work also. It is too much. You should do devotion. We are also doing devotion. You should also do devotion. And along with that, you have to take care of the business. Go and sell the clothes. So this boy, he took the clothes, went and sat on a stool. And whole day he was absorbed in the song of Vithala. In the evening he came to know, he was thinking, what is this? My father told that I should sell the clothes. The clothes are as it is. If I go back with the clothes, my father will take a stick and beat me. That is why he told, the stone in which he was sitting, he told, hey stone, you take all these clothes. Now tomorrow you can give me money, you take all these clothes. But then what is the proof that I have given you? He made another stone as a witness. Dondya. Another stone as a witness. Oh Dondya, you see that you are the witness for everything. This is the transaction between me and this stone. And in this way he left for the temple. He came back. Father told, where is the money? He told, don't worry, tomorrow you will get. What you did? I sold everything. Everything. Yes, everything in one day. All everything. Tomorrow you will get it. But to whom you have sold? You don't worry now, you will get it tomorrow. Then next day he goes, he sees the stone on which he was sitting, that is also not there, and all the clothes are also not there. But the Gondia is there. It will a witness. What happened to the clothes? Now what witness will speak? But then he brought the witness. He said, I don't know. Anyhow, I am not interested what happened and all. Who has taken? You give all this Hisab Kitab to my father. He goes to his father. Father says, where is the witness? What happened? Where is the money? He told, don't worry. This witness knows everything. Take this witness, and he ran away. Because before his father can ask anything, he gave that stone. You ask, that stone? This is the witness or what? He said, yes, this is the witness. You don't worry. And then he ran to Vithala. And there he said, he started singing the Abhanga Singha. There he is thinking, if I go back, my father will be, oh Lord, actually I am not interested in all these things. You should only protect. Actually, I am not afraid of my father's beatings, but somehow he is making me do all these material activities. You pacify him. Now here father thinks, what am I going to do with this stone? But then suddenly he sees this stone becomes gold. And he is so satisfied. Oh, this is the real wealth. And he gets the gold. And here Namdev comes. Namdev is now thinking, I am going to get beatings today. But his father says, oh, you have given so much wealth, which is also beyond expectation, because the worth of the cloth was not so much. But this whole stone has become a big lump of gold. And in this way, Lord is to protect Namdev in different circumstances. Now Namdev came in contact with Yaneshwar. Yaneshwar told, why don't we go for a pilgrimage? No, my place is only Vithala. My Lord is only Vithala. I am not interested in going anywhere. He said, Lord is there in everyone also. Lord is there everywhere. So Brahman aspect and the Paramatma aspect of Lord, two features of Lord are also there. Brahman aspect, Paramatma aspect. That Namdev was not understanding. So Yaneshwara, he told, come, we'll go to different places. Well, I'll come to different places, but my Lord is only Vithala. It so happened, they used to go to different places. Once in Marwar, there was a well. There was only very little water. Yaneshwara told, I am going to show yogic powers. He became a bird, went inside, took water. Namdev was seeing. So nice. Then Namdev just prayed Rakhumai. Oh Rukmini, oh Ma, please come, please help. But they were very thirsty. And the water came up. What happened? Namdev drank. So everywhere actually Namdev was showing pure devotional service. Then in one temple they were all sitting. They were doing kirtan. The pujari told, chalo, yahan kirtan nahi karna, chalo, go. They went out. Namdev was doing kirtan. It is said the whole temple turned. The deities turned. Like we have in Udupi also. In Udupi also. So just for Kanakadas, the whole temple turned. In the same way, here also, the whole temple turned. In one place in Bidar, when they went to Bidar, in one place, they all were chanting the holy name of Lord. The whole village was also absorbed along with them. They were also so much absorbed in chanting. At the time, the Sultan over there, he was thinking, hey, they may be having some plot. The plot may be to fight with us or revolt with us. So this Sultan, he made an arrangement in such a way that he captured this Namdev. Because he is doing kirtan, let us capture him. He locked him in the prison and told he should accept Islam. You accept Islam or make this dead cow come into life. Everybody was crying, oh Namdev, accept Islam, accept Islam. No, I will never accept Islam. But he touched the cow came back to life. Though he was not a yogi, but a devotee is beyond a yogi. He brought back this dead cow to life. This way there are so many pastimes of Namdev. Then Gyaneshwara was telling, see, everything is so wonderful, but still you should have a guru. He said, my guru is Vithala. My Vithala is my guru. He said, you should accept guru. He is not accepting. Then there was a saint known as Gora Kumbhar. You know the saint Gora Kumbhar. He was a Kumbhar by his profession, the potter. Then he told, Gyaneshwara told, check everybody's head, which is baked properly, just check everybody's head. This Gora Kumbhar started tapping everyone's head. And the sound was coming perfectly. And nobody was screaming nothing. But when he tapped the head of Gyaneshwara, Namdev, then Namdev started screaming, oh, what is this? Why are you beating me? He said, this is not properly baked. It's not properly baked. Then he was intense. What is this? I am worshipping Vithala. Still, why I am not having the perfect knowledge? Then he again went to Gyaneshwara. Please tell me what to do. He said, you should accept a guru. Then one day he goes to a temple. There actually one of the devotee of disciple of Gyaneshwara is sitting. His name was Vishobha. He was keeping his feet towards Lord and he was sitting there. Namdev was very angry. Namdev told him, what is this? You should not place your feet before Lord. Then he told, okay, place my feet wherever Lord is not there. He started placing everywhere and he's seeing Vithala is standing there, Vithala is standing here. He's completely confused. This way Vishobha told, Lord is everywhere. Lord is in the deities also. And Lord is everywhere. He accepted Vishobha as his guru. After the initiation, one day he was sitting with some chapatis and ghee. He wanted to eat the chapati and ghee. At that time, a dog comes and snatches this chapati and runs. This Namdev is also running behind. Ramdev is running behind taking the ghee. Hey, take ghee also, take ghee. He thought, the dog is thinking, oh, Namdev is coming to beat, but Namdev is saying, hey, please take chapati with the ghee, sukha chapati, why are you eating? And people were shocked to see Namdev's activity. What is this? In this way he could see that every jiva is part and parcel of Krishna. But somehow, somewhere, pure devotional service to Vithoba, he wanted to do that pure devotional service. He started writing abhangas also. But then, it is said, when Gyaneshwara took samadhi, he could not bear the separation. And his work of completing the abhangas were left unfulfilled. That is why he had to appear as Tukaram. At the age of 26, Namdev takes samadhi at Pandharpur. Because he could not bear the separation. Just 1 year passed. All the four brothers left. First is Gyaneshwar, who took samadhi. Then Nivritti Sopana, Muktabai. All in 1 year, everybody disappeared. So he could not bear the separation. That is why he had to take samadhi. But his work of writing the abhangas, glorifying Vithala, was left unfulfilled. Here Gyaneshwara, he wrote Gyaneshwari. So many people think, what is Gyaneshwari? Gyaneshwari is nothing but commentary on Bhagavad Gita. But impersonalism has been given more importance than the personal aspect of Lord. That is little bit impersonal commentary on Bhagavad Gita. But 8,500 OVs means the commentaries has been given. 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita has been described in 8,500 OVs, giving some similes, some metaphors. And in this way, description of Bhagavad Gita verses are given by Gyaneshwara. He has also written Anubhava Amrita. That also book is very famous, Anubhava Amrita. What Anubhava he is having. But they are all great saints. For them, even if they see a stone, they can see Lord in it. And they can immediately write the poems. So Abhangas are nothing but glorification of Vithala Swarupa. Jnaneshwari is nothing but description of Lord in his other two aspects of Paramatma and Brahman. Though direct deity worship is also given importance, Bhagavan aspect is also given importance, but a lot of impersonal aspect, that is Brahman and Paramatma, has also been glorified. Because Lord means, Krishna means Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan feature. Lord has three features. In this way, Jnaneshwara, Namdev, they are all great saints, making the people remember of Vithala. Whenever Namdev name is given, at that time, Janabai name also should be given. Without the name of Janabai, Namdev's name is also incomplete. Like all are connected. If you say Jnaneshwara, then you should mention Namdev. If you mention Tukaram, you should mention Namdev. In the same way, if you mention Namdev, you should mention Janabai. Janabai was just a maid servant in the house of Namdev. But she was so devoted to Namdev. She was 5 years elder to Namdev. And she used to always sing the glories of Namdev. She used to say, my Lord is Namdev. I don't know Vithala, but I know Namdev, because Namdev knows Vithala. If you know a devotee, naturally if you love a devotee, you will love the worshipable Lord of the devotee. So the worshipable Lord of my devotee, of my worshipable Lord is Vithala. That is why my worshipable Lord is Namdev. And she used to write Namdev Gatha. She used to write about Namdev. It is said for Janabai, Vithala used to come and become servant. She used to grind floor. Even today also you have a Janabai grinding floor machine. Not machine, what is that? Chakki. Chakki. So she used to always be absorbed in singing about Namdev and his love for Vithala. Then, naturally when she is singing, her work will be slow, and that she is a servant and people should not kick her out. So that is why Krishna used to come and he used to grind along with her. So that is the capacity of a devotee. A devotee can make Krishna a servant. You see, Sakhubai. For Sakhubai, Krishna became he started doing all the work of Sakhubai. That is the power of a devotee. The devotee wants to serve Krishna, but there is always a competition. Who serves the best? Krishna says, what he can serve you? I will serve you the best. I am here to serve the devotees. Devotees say, no, we are here to serve you. So there is always a competition. Naturally, in that competition, who wins? Krishna. It's Krishna who wins. Krishna can become the devotees of the devotees. Krishna can become the servants of the servants. So these are this place, Dehu, Alandi, especially Maharashtra Bhumi, is a place of saints. Sant Tukaram, Sant Nivrutti. This is all the place of saints. To the saintly nature, to attain the saintly nature, one has to come to these places. Because they have walked here, they have stayed here, they have lived here. This is a tree where Jnaneshwari has been written. So they are not ordinary people. They are all the empowered, you can say, empowered by God. Empowered incarnations also can be told. They are empowered by Krishna. The Jiva who is empowered by Lord, they are such saintly people. They are just saints. So let us have. Okay. So anyhow, time is up. So I was just thinking of describing 5 verses of Gopi Geet. It will be a long time. So next time we will have the Gopi Geet which was left incomplete. Next time in some yatras we can do that. Okay? Hare Krishna. Any questions you can ask?